The world does not care about your excuses, and the universe is indifferent to your comfort. While you sleep, time is devouring your life, and while you hesitate, opportunity is slipping through your fingers like sand. You are a prisoner of your own impulses, a slave to your moods, and a victim of your own lack of control. But imagine a life where you are the master of your soul, where your mind is an impenetrable fortress, and where your will is as unyielding as iron. This is not a dream. It is the path of Stoicism, a philosophy forged in the fires of ancient Rome by a man who ruled the known world but chose to conquer himself first. Marcus Aurelius, the last of the 5 good emperors, knew that the greatest empire you will ever lead is the one within your own mind. If you are tired of being weak, if you are done with being mediocre, and if you are ready to reclaim your destiny, then listen closely. We are about to strip away the illusions of modern life and rebuild your character from the ground up, using the 12 eternal principles of self-discipline. Self-discipline begins the moment your eyes open in the darkness of the early morning. Marcus Aurelius famously argued with himself in his journals, asking why he should stay under the warm covers when he was born to do the work of a human being. You were not created to huddle under blankets and seek sensory pleasure. You were created to act, to contribute, and to endure. When you hit the snooze button, you are losing the first battle of the day, signaling to your subconscious that your comfort is more important than your purpose. Discipline is the art of doing what must be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. It is the rejection of the path of least resistance in favor of the path of greatest growth. You must stop waiting for motivation, because motivation is a fickle friend that leaves when the weather turns cold. Instead, you must rely on the cold, hard steel of habit and the unwavering commitment to your own potential. To master yourself, you must first master your perception, realizing that nothing is inherently good or bad until your mind labels it so. The obstacles you face are not walls. They are the very fuel that fires your progress. Marcus taught that the impediment to action advances action, and what stands in the way becomes the way. When a crisis hits, the disciplined man does not panic. He observes, analyzes, and adapts. You must learn to separate your impressions from reality, stripping away the emotional weight you attach to external events. If someone insults you, it is only a harm if you choose to feel harmed. If you lose your job, it is only a tragedy if you refuse to see it as a new beginning. Control your narrative and you control your world. This mental clarity is the foundation of a disciplined life, allowing you to remain calm while the storm rages around you. We live in an age of endless distraction, where every screen is a thief stealing your most precious resource, your attention. A Stoic understands that to be everywhere is to be nowhere. You must practice the discipline of focus, narrowing your vision until you are doing the task at hand with the intensity of a dying man. Do every act of your life as if it were your last, because one day it will be. This sense of urgency is not meant to cause anxiety, but to provide clarity. When you realize that death is constantly standing behind you, the trivialities of social media and the opinions of strangers lose their power. You stop wasting time on things that do not move the needle of your soul. You become a person of depth in a world of shallowness, a person of substance in a world of shadows. True discipline requires an honest assessment of what is within your control and what is not. You waste immense energy worrying about the economy, the weather, and the thoughts of other people. Yet these are things you cannot change. The disciplined mind focuses exclusively on its own thoughts, its own intentions, and its own actions. Everything else is indifferent and should be treated with a sense of detached acceptance. By narrowing your focus to your own agency, you become invincible. You can no longer be disappointed by the world, because your happiness is no longer tied to the world's whims. You find your center of gravity within yourself, standing tall and firm regardless of the chaos outside. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom from being a puppet of external circumstances. You must also learn to embrace voluntary hardship, for a mind that is never tested becomes soft and brittle. The Stoics practiced poverty and discomfort to remind themselves that they could survive even if they lost everything. Take the cold shower, skip the meal, walk in the rain, and lean into the struggle. By intentionally choosing discomfort, you take away its power to frighten you. You realize that you are much stronger than your pampered body wants you to believe. This builds a reservoir of resilience that you can draw upon when real tragedy strikes. Discipline is a muscle, and like any muscle, it must be torn down to grow stronger. If you only work when you feel good, you will never achieve greatness. You must train yourself to be comfortable being uncomfortable. One of the most profound secrets of Marcus Aurelius was his practice of negative visualization. He did not spend his time thinking only of success. He prepared his mind for failure, betrayal, and loss. By imagining the worst-case scenario, you strip it of its shock value. You realize that you have the internal resources to handle whatever life throws at you. This is not pessimism. It is the highest form of realism. It allows you to move through the world with a quiet confidence, knowing that you are prepared for the thorns as well as the roses. When you are no longer afraid, you are finally free to act with total conviction and total discipline. The disciplined life is a life of radical responsibility. You must stop blaming your parents, your boss, or your environment for your current situation. Even if you are not responsible for the event that happened to you, you are 100% responsible for how you respond to it. To blame others is to give them power over your life. To take responsibility is to take back your throne. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth. Yet he never blamed the gods or the people for his burdens. He looked inward and asked how he could better serve his duty. Your duty is to be a person of character, a person of integrity, and a person of action. Everything else is secondary to the quality of your soul. To maintain this level of discipline, you must guard your inner circle with extreme jealousy. You are the average of the people you spend the most time with. And if you surround yourself with the lazy and the cynical, you will eventually mirror their decay. Seek out those who challenge you, who hold you to a higher standard, and who embody the virtues you wish to possess. But even more importantly, learn to be your own best friend. The Stoic finds peace in solitude because he likes the person he is when no one is watching. If you cannot stand to be alone with your own thoughts, it is a sign that you have work to do on your character. Discipline is built in the quiet moments of reflection, in the journals you write, and in the promises you keep to yourself. Consistency is the heartbeat of Stoicism. It is not about the grand gesture or the one-time heroic act. It is about the small, repetitive choices made day after day. It is the choice to speak the truth when a lie would be easier. It is the choice to work when you want to play. It is the choice to be kind when you want to be cruel. Over time, these small choices accumulate into a mountain of character that no force on earth can move. You must fall in love with the process, not just the result. The result is out of your hands, but the process is yours to own. A disciplined person finds joy in the discipline itself, knowing that they are living in accordance with their highest nature. Finally, you must remember the concept of memento mori. Remember that you will die. This is the ultimate filter for your life. When faced with a difficult choice or a moment of weakness, ask yourself, will this matter when I am on my deathbed? Most of the things we stress about will vanish into the mist of time, but the person we become remains until the end. Marcus Aurelius looked at the stars and realized how tiny a human life is in the grand tapestry of the cosmos. This should not make you feel insignificant, but rather focused. You have a very short time to play your part on this stage. Don't waste it being a spectator of your own life. Don't waste it waiting for the perfect conditions that will never come. The path of the Stoic is not an easy one, but it is the only path that leads to true strength and lasting peace. It requires you to be honest with yourself, to be harsh with your weaknesses, and to be relentless in your pursuit of virtue. It is a journey of 1,000 miles that begins with a single step of self-control. Look at the cracks in the statue of the great emperor. They represent the reality of a life lived in the arena. He was not a perfect man, but he was a man who never stopped trying to be better. You have that same fire within you. You have the same capacity for greatness and the same power to command your own mind. Stop searching for shortcuts. Stop looking for hacks and secrets. The secret is that there is no secret. There is only the work, the will, and the wisdom to know the difference. The world is waiting to see what a person of true discipline can achieve. It is waiting for you to stop talking and start acting. It is waiting for you to become the master of your destiny. Take these principles, engrave them upon your heart, and live them with every breath you take. Your new life begins the moment you decide that enough is enough. Rise up, face the day, and conquer yourself. If you are ready to take the first step toward true mastery, start by controlling your next hour. What is the one thing you have been avoiding? Do it now without hesitation and feel the power of discipline flowing back into your life. Would you like me to expand on any specific principle or help you create a daily routine based on these Stoic values?